Hey, what is up, Patreon? It's Rich. All right, welcome to a video. We are going to look at Jorge Jimenez today. Jorge has been doing some amazing work for several years, but I had either attempted to shoot a video a few weeks ago or did, and just for whatever reason never uploaded it. But I was like, let's just go through this stuff now. So this is the new Batman work that he's doing. It's very, very cool. I mean, he's working digitally 100%, and he does great work. There's a lot of textures. There's great drawing. I mean, it's detailed. It's got just a bunch of really fun eye candy. He's really terrific. So anyway, we're just going to look at the pieces. We can kind of zoom in a little bit and see what's going on. These are all different texture brushes. He may have bought like a Frienden set or something along those lines, and he if he's worked long enough in the program, I mean, he may have needed custom brushes that he couldn't access that he just made himself. It's not very hard to make custom brushes, honestly. Yeah, so it's been really fun to watch the evolution of his work, because I was saying to a friend of mine yesterday that you can tell, like, he's fully realized right now. He may get better, but he's playing right now. He's got the drawing chops. He's got the pages under his belt. He knows the techniques that he wants to use, and this is someone who is just completely expressing themselves through their art, and you can really get a sense of that when you see the work. And it's a fun place to be as an artist, but it takes time. He's been working professionally for at least 5 or 6 years, if not maybe a little bit longer, and he's done a pretty big body of work, and generally sticks to this medium, so that helps in terms of like mastering the techniques. This isn't a very high-res file, so none of these are like super high-res, but at least we have black and whites, and you don't have to fight through the color. And the colors on his work are generally really nice. But yeah, it's really good. I mean, he really draws a lot of stuff. These are stats, so this is an effective use of repurposing probably this drawing. And sometimes you may have to draw an extra shoulder or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, or he may have done it separately, where he drew this whole shot once and then it's just statting the full thing. Like it may be on another page or something like that. It's possible. This is cool. Yep. All delicious. All good. It's really fun to see someone get to this point with their work. When you see it, you just know it. You go, yeah, this guy is jamming. Every issue is going to be a treat for a while. So it's fun, It's where we want to see our favorite artists, And there's so many different styles that people work in, but this is cool, I wish we could see it closer, but the nice thing is this could either be a custom brush or he sampled a real texture of a graded floor and just kind of photoshops it in. I mean, there's a lot of options that you can use digital. And it's interesting because, I mean, as artists, we probably embrace this stuff more, and fans go kind of two ways with it. Some people don't like digital art. It's just the way that it is. And some do, but it's like the second you say that you do anything digital, there definitely will be a small contingent of people that will kind of like go, oh, see, that's why it looks that way, or that's why it's at the level that it is. But as artists, honestly, this would be my recommendation to you, is don't get hung up on that, and you just do the best that you can do with the way that you're going to work, and don't really worry about it, because if you spent all your time worrying about 35 people that don't like digital art, you know what I mean? What does it matter if thousands and thousands of people love it? So just take it with a grain of salt, because I had seen something. The only reason I brought it up was within the last week, something was posted, or a piece of art was posted. I can't remember if it was traditional or digital, but there was comments basically kind of putting down digital work. So it was either like, this is cool because it's not digital, or yeah, but it's digital kind of thing. And I was like, really? In 2020, we're having this discussion? I've seen Jorge draw traditionally, and it doesn't actually look like this as much. He hasn't blended the two, like his traditional sketches and stuff like that tend to harken back to his work maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So he's progressed immensely with this and being able to finish drawings with all these tools. But definitely when he draws on his own, it regresses to a different look. I will say that when he's working on paper. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just looks different and looks more like his like Teen Titans or Super Sons work that he did. I think that was 3 or 4 years ago. So all these texture brushes almost give it a bit of a jock feel, a little bit, or that kind of vibe. Little Jason Sean Alexander, kind of at times. He seems to, what I've noticed is there's a maturity creeping into his work with his influences, where I think when he first broke in, these are design sketches, I think, for some of the work he's doing. When he first started, he was kind of just trying to do what I would consider a very poppy DC comics, like Teen Titans, Young Guns style, where it's like, it's kind of anime, it's kind of manga, it's got the detail that fans want, and he was trying to have something that would appeal, and it may have just been a style he liked, but you know what I mean. But you can see he's starting to look at more serious artists, like this doesn't look like kid art or something that would appeal to like a 14-year-old. This looks like someone who's looking at like Jorge Safino or people that are influenced by Safino. So you can see as he's done more work and also aged as a human. His tastes are getting more. Sometimes I see a little bit of Adam Hughes in his work. It could just be incidental, because Adam does a lot of the lighting like this, but it could have crept in a little bit. You can see he's using a lot of smudgy brushes, so it's it's interesting. It's interesting. If I was gonna do something like this, I would go for it traditionally. Personally, I think that this is fantastic. But for me, it would kill me to not be able to do the same thing on paper. That's where I think it's really exciting, and people really would go like, "Holy shit, that's on paper? You drew that? Get out of town!" And you're like, "No, seriously, this is on paper. I worked this stuff out. I figure it out. I cracked the code." Because I don't have layers, and I don't have Command Z, and I don't have stats. You can use some of those tricks in traditional art, but yeah, you'll get extra DAP from your peers if you can do it traditionally. But it's a lot harder, more time consuming. This card gets a little bit out of perspective if you kind of look. Like this end right here gets a little weird at this angle. I don't know how much of this windshield you would see. And these kind of look like models to me, honestly. This looks like this car flipped. Because if you look at this, you see this right here, how it's at kind of a slightly tilted angle, and then this is the opposite. I think this is the same car, just flipped and resized just the tiniest bit. And then the siren shines are a little different. But, whatever. It is what it is. He could have downloaded like a little cop car model and like Google SketchUp or something like that. Like I said, if you really go through, in particular, webtoons, you'll see a lot more of this stuff. It's done in a different style, but backgrounds and stuff like that, like I was saying, it's like everybody has the subway or train station model. Everyone has the on the bus or on the train model. You see that consistently used. This is great. It's like total like salmon twitch. This looks like a model to me. He's just speeding up the process. Does anyone really care that much about the car? This is all real fun looking stuff. Very cool effect. I think Matteo Scalera probably comes the closest to doing stuff like this traditionally. If you follow him on Instagram, you'll see effects like this with his work. Very, very nicely done. He's super, super great too. Look at that. Man, that is cool. Yeah, I don't, it's a very, very funny thing because Travis would draw very, very cool cars. And for whatever reason, you could tell that he drew them. And whenever I see stuff like this, it looks suspect to me. I don't know why. It's like it never sits fully in. It's like so in perspective that it feels like it's um, a model. I don't know. You can just feel it. And you see, and even these cop cars, it just all looks not drawn. He draws over it. This might be a drawing, but I could be wrong. Maybe he's that good that you know it just looks that way. Who knows? It's only speculation on my part. Like I said, I love this guy's stuff, so I wouldn't have done a video about him if I didn't. That's cool. Man, that's nice. Look at this. I mean, he's just crushing it. So freaking good. Wait till you see this double page spread I'm going to open up in a little bit. These are from two different comics. I don't remember the exact issues that they are. Someone watching this maybe can chime in of what comic books these are. But look at this. This is very mature. That's really good. But yeah, he's grown up, man. He's not the Super Sons Teen Titan guy anymore. This is big boy art. But done for comics. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Beautiful. This almost has like a bit of an Ashley Wood vibe. This is nice. And when I make references like that, it's just, you know what I mean? It's not to say that he's referencing those people. It's just certain looks you kind of relate to artists that you're aware of. And, different people may see different things in it too. Maybe if you're a Bill Sienkiewicz fan or whoever it is, you might more equate it with that. Some Japanese artist or something like that. This is nice. The storyline looks like it's going to be very, very cool. We did 2 issues of Nightwing, and it's got these characters and clowns in it too. But I think between what was going on before Jorge completely took it to this level of texture and tone, you had other artists going this route. So I think that this will definitely be a movement in comics that should be around for a little while. Like this is definitely going to be the one of the more popular looks stylistically. And not that you're going to draw like Jorge Jimenez, but you'll definitely see more and more of stuff like this for the next few years. And that's fine, I mean, it's nice to have things sort of morph and this is a pretty kinetic style. You can see that these are all stats. But that's I mean, they do that in normal comics. That has nothing really to do with Jorge alone. This is cool. He's like, I'm going in and out. You guys want anything? What do you think? You like this? Had you seen it? Let me know. I'd be curious to see. This is from a different comic than the most recent one that he did. This is from a little while ago. Probably the rest of these pages will be. This is really, really good, though, whatever this was from. Like I said, I can't remember. I just saved all this stuff in kind of like a random folder. This is cool. This house, like I said, there's a double page spread with this house coming up. And this reminds me of Tom Coker. Tom Coker does stuff like this. And it's Tomm. But Tom Coker, to me, is the precursor of artists like Jason Shawn Alexander. They're influenced by a lot of European artists, Micheluzzi, Sergio Topi, not Mazzucchelli, Micheluzzi, and it kind of came from Chris Bacalo when he was at Vertigo. There's this interesting chain of artists, and Bill Sienkiewicz kind of influenced him, and Dave McKean, and it filters through all these different artists, and they may pick it up from, who knows, Jim Lee or whoever, might have a touch of it, and they sort of like a little thing of it. But it is very, very interesting how these influence chains, we'll call it, sort of progress through things. But again, another just beautiful page. This is great. Look at that. Damn. It was like he saw Jim's sequence with Hush, and he's like, I need to out Hush Jim's Hush. No. But Jim did do some pretty cool things with this kind of idea. Running and running and running on buildings. I'm sure DC is so thrilled to have this guy working for them. This guy is money in the bank. They're probably paying him so much cash. And if they're not, he could renegotiate and get just about anything he wants. Look at this. Yeah, you get this good, you can write your own ticket anywhere as long as you're not a douchebag online and, somehow completely fuck up your career by saying stupid shit. But past that, this guy's golden. He could go anywhere and get hired pretty much immediately and probably get thrown on whatever big event book the company was planning on doing, and they would promote the hell out of him and pay him great. So always get as good as you can at whatever style you want, because this is a testimonial to focus, hard work, consistency, dedication to his craft, and a lot of hard work. But boy, it shows. Isn't that cool? It's delicious. Running and running and running. Man, it's so neat. Like I said, I'm a fan of digital art, so this doesn't bother me in one bit. For me personally, I like doing traditional art, so doing the digital stuff is really, really fun. But I think I would get kind of sad after doing a few pages and realize that it just only exists in the Matrix, and I can never pull out the artboard and lay it on a couch or in a chair and just look at my beautiful drawing that is a moment in time with me injected into the fibers of the paper. That's kind of fun. He sells prints of these pages, like one of ones, and so like he is sort of making money on quote unquote original art, although it's a one of one print. But that's more for collectors to decide what they think the value of that is. But I'll tell you what, if this was on paper and he pen and inked all this and used wash or Copics or whatever to get this effect, these would go for a ridiculous amount of money. He could get so much for a page like this. I mean, several months' salary worth of money for something like this. These are outstanding images. So, all right, hopefully that gets you guys excited. And look, you don't have to draw this detailed or this good. As we saw on the Tapas website, there's people that do very, very simple art and have big followings. It's just, are your ideas fun? Do they connect with people? And is there some sort of visual cool factor to it? It doesn't have to be this amplified. This is pretty detailed, So, all right, have a good one. Hopefully that was fun to check out. Bye.